Hello, and welcome
to the Lume Plotters.
All right, that's what we are today.
We are, and every day.
So the last couple of days haven't planned out exactly as I planned them.
You had some banking errors in your favor. Actually, not in your favor, just banking errors in general.
Yeah,
I was just playing Monopoly with the family, and then one of the chance cards says "bank error in your favor. Collect $10."
Yeah, I would like to have that.
I would never get that. You always say this. Why do I never get this? But both of us had some interesting twists and turns in our life. Yours much more significant than mine. So I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm assuming this is incorporating a wristwatch check for today. So I picked up another watch.
We'll have to extend that a bit, right? So what's on your wrist today?
Yes, exactly. So we'll morph it together.
Yes.
I picked up another watch. As you would guess, it's one of the watches that I've bought 2-3 times before.
No way. It's not a new
Can you
new
believe
watch.
it? and of course, when I tell you that it's a watch that I've bought before, that means it has to be a Tudor.
Yes.
It must.
Yeah.
So, and in fact it is, yes. With a slight variance, slight modification.
Wait. Technically, I think there was one watch that you bought twice too, which was a Cartier.
No, remember one was returned.
But hey, you bought it twice.
Technically speaking, yes.
From somebody else then, right? Eventually. So, yeah.
Once from Cartier directly, and then the other time I returned that one.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have to say, in the Cartier, I pulled out the crown and the movement started running backwards, and I shit myself a little bit, thinking, what on earth is it doing? I've never seen a watch run backwards, and this one did. So even if I would have seen that, I would have returned it. So I had not, it was a combination of a lot of things.
Yeah, exactly.
But also the fact is, I found it 6 months old or however much on the used market, and it was 10,000, if not more, dirhams cheaper.
Yeah, totally.
And my new watch today costs less than 10,000 dirhams. So that's awesome.
That's a lot of savings. Yeah, for sure.
It is. So I picked up, again, the Black Bay 54. I had some time struggling with this. As you guys know, I had the Oris Diver 65, the small one, the 38mm Hodinkee version, and I had that Mercy. Well, I sold both of those, and that netted me around 7K, let's say 7-8K.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought to myself, well, what can I get for 7-8K? And if I pushed it just a little bit, I was at 9. And for 9, I managed to pick up a Tudor Black Bay 54. It was less than a year old as well, although this one it had some wear on it. But the big difference between the ones that I've had before and this one is it's on the rubber strap, the OEM, kind of Oyster Flex style rubber strap with the big clasp.
Yeah.
I've had the Tudor Pelagai before with rubber straps, but those are tang buckles, and those I never felt truly, they weren't that cool, right? In my opinion, if you're going to have antlings on a rubber strap, you need to have the clasp as well. And this one has everything. So it was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with it.
Yeah. I mean, it's looking cool. It's looking very good on your wrist. It's very nice. And the new T-fit clasp is cool.
Oh my God, it's
really
so
lovely.
Cool. So Ralph, how big is your wrist?
I don't know exactly. 18 centimeters, 18 and a half or so. 18.
So mine is around 16.
Wow.
16 and a half. So I think. Let me do the conversion. I know I'm 6.5 inches.
I think it's probably 18 centimeters.
No.
But you know what? I have this wonderful tool. Just a second. I'll get it.
Is it a ruler? No, mine's 16 and a half. I was right. It's 16 and a half. Mine's 16 and a half centimeters. And Ralph's is 18. Ralph is frantically looking for something.
for all the listeners.
Okay, I'm 16 and a half. I verified on Google.
So, this here, this is Watch Gecko.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know the sizing
plastic thing.
Yeah.
So I now can put this on my wrist. So once and for all, on the record, tell you what my wrist size is. Okay, because you know how often I use this? Hundreds of times. Because I seem to forget my wrist size? How can I, as a watch collector?
The thing is, I don't forget mine. I remeasure just to verify, thinking, oh, maybe now I have larger wrists, so I can pull off that Panerai I've always wanted. But in fact, no, I can't, unfortunately.
So the question I have also is this: do you do this tight?
Yes, I do it all the way tight with no gap in there.
Okay, then I have 18.5 centimeters.
So I'm 16.5. Which is 2 centimeters larger.
In inches, it is 7. What is this? 7.25? Yeah, 7.25 inch. Yeah.
So now, which is funny, if anybody hears this out of context, it's going to sound very strange to them. What are they measuring?
12 inches.
16.5 inches. Anyway, the funny thing about this watch is both Ralph and I were able to wear it by only adjusting the T-fit clasp, which shows to you there must be at least a solid inch or 2.5 centimeters of travel in that T-fit clasp. It's absolutely
I mean, it was on the tighter side for me when it was there, but it was actually wearable, right? So I thought, so then definitely it's good for you, because your only concern was that the strap might be cut too short, right? Then
too short. Of course, I walked in because when I was looking at the pictures, right, there's 4 holes that and it's cut to fit, right? So 4 holes that you can cut, or 4 lines, whatever you want to call them. So I was a little bit hesitant, thinking I saw that it was cut to the second to last hole.
Right.
And I was thinking maybe some woman was wearing this and with very small wrists, and therefore it won't fit me. And if I pay $9,000 for this watch, I'm going to have to pay another $800 for just the strap to get a new one. Which is redonkulous. So screw that. But no, surprisingly, imagine how big this strap would be. That's the equivalent of adding 3 more links in.
Yeah. It's incredible because there's not so much space in this T-fit clasp, but somehow it seems to work. I don't know.
I don't know how.
Magic. It's magic.
It is magic. It's magic. But anyway, all right, enough for me. I like it. It's a very cool looking watch. It fits me well. I'm going to wear it on vacation in Europe this summer. So that is all. I'm leaving on Saturday, so I want to have it. All right, Ralph, on the flip side, you tell me.
What happened to me?
Tell us about your story. The whole story.
Okay, my story. I try to keep it brief, but my story was, I know in the last episode, I think I spoke to you and asked about the advice I gave a friend of mine who was selling his Patek annual calendar and his time zone Lange in order to get a chronograph from Lange.
And what did you say? Did you remind the listeners?
Chronographs are boring. Nobody wants chronographs, and the other 2 are much nicer. Complications.
No. And what else? What else did you say about your collection?
That I'm super content and super happy, and I don't need anything.
And then what happened? In literally less than a week's time, what has happened?
3 watches were sold. One already was on the auction. Yeah. The Bremont that actually was already on the chopping block before. So it was, in my mind, already sold. But I haven't received the money yet. So that's going to come soon, hopefully.
Where did you sell it? Chrono?
In the Timepiece 260 auction, the last one.
Okay.
So I got the confirmation, has been sold. So I guess in another week or 2, I will get the payout once they cleared the credit card charges, whatever it is, these kind of things. Yeah. But then a very good friend of mine decided that I sent him an interesting offer.
There was 2. Yeah. There was 2 of the same watch. So we should talk about both.
Yes, there was actually 3. It's funny enough, there's 2 watches for the exact same price, one being sold by a dealer here for a very good price. I mean, we have to just wind back a bit. You bought your Tudor for $2,400, right?
Mm-hmm.
Equivalent, which is insane if you think about it, for a watch that just came out a year ago, right? It's 1 year old, right? The 54.
Yeah, correct. As of March, 1 year old.
So it's really, really good. It's a very good price. Okay, it's on the rubber strap, so it's a bit cheaper than the bracelet version, but not that much. So it's a really cool stuff. Anyway, so I got an interesting 2018 Daytona, right? Black ceramic. So I thought, that's interesting. Maybe if I wanted to have a Daytona, I could just sell my GMT Master 2 and maybe one other watch and then get a Daytona. But my question was then, but do I want a Daytona, right? So, and then from there on, it somehow spiraled out of control. Another friend of mine told me, you know what? Instead of buying the 6-year-old watch that has no warranty, why don't you buy my April 2024 brand new unworn new reference Daytona for just
Slightly more.
$2,500, about $2,600 more than that. And I was like, oh, it's getting very tempting here. No? So, brand new.
Well, not just is it the newer one, it's the larger one, the more modern one, right?
Yeah, sure.
Because the previous one was the older reference.
Yeah, it has the new movement. I mean, so basically what it does have is it has the metal ring around the ceramic bezel.
So it's a bezel insert, not a bezel anymore.
Then it has slightly smaller sub dial rings. It has slimmer indices, and it has a smaller lug to lug, and it's now actually what you call it is now symmetrical. Before on the right side or the left side, they had a bit chunkier lugs and to offset for the pushers on the other side, but now it's symmetrical, and it has a shorter lug to lug width, and it's I think half a centimeter flatter, not half a centimeter, 5 millimeter. No, sorry, half a millimeter or something like that. It is slimmer. It's now below 12. It's like 11.8 instead of 12.3 or something millimeters. The thickness. So they just made it slimmer. And it has the new movement with a chronology escapement and with Geneva stripes, dock decoration, a solid gold rotor, which is a bit skeletonized. So all of this stuff is in this new movement. So it's a bit nicer.
And it's half a millimeter thinner.
Half a millimeter thinner.
Yeah. The watches.
Yes, the watch, yeah. So that's really, really nice. So I decided then to say, screw it, I'm doing it. Yeah, and I did it. So since yesterday, I then...
by the way, also one thing that I wanted to mention here is the old one was 38.5 millimeters.
The new one is 38.7. Even though they
claimed it at 40. Exact. No, the new one is claimed to be 39.4.
Well, it depends.
So it's 1 millimeter
who measures it. I think
as Hodinkee claimed.
Hafiz measured it in this. It actually wears much bigger on your wrist.
Yeah, exactly. So you like that. So this is perfect for you. This is why I was telling you to get the newer one is to...
I have a Daytona now. I can't believe it. And the price was absolutely insane. I mean, way below. But I have a condition. Yes, I had to make a very big concession.
No. You were stressing as well for 2 days.
Yeah, because my selling wasn't going as smoothly as I wanted to. I mean, I sold, let me tell you what I sold. I sold my GMT Master 2, the two-tone version, which I loved. I loved that watch. And it's, I don't think I have realized that it's gone yet. I might really miss it a lot because I really enjoyed this watch. And then of course every transaction above 50,000 dirhams takes a bit longer nowadays because it goes for specific security checks. I think it goes via the US, everything here, what happens here, to have a set of eyes on it and to make sure that this is not supporting any nefarious enterprises or money laundering or whatever it might be. So anyhow, it took just a bit longer than I wanted to. Then the other transaction for my Blancpain, because that was under 50,000 dirhams, or about $12,000, that went through immediately, right? These things are credited immediately. So that was good. So I sold my Blancpain for a very good price to a friend, and I hope he's very happy with that. I loved also this Blancpain. It was never actually in my mind to sell it, but in this case, it just made sense. These three watches together are exactly the amount that I spent on the Daytona, so I'm not out of pocket. So that's wonderful. Yeah, and obviously, but what my concession I had to make, right? I mean, of course, I'm a bit over the moon with this watch because I never thought I would ever wear a steel Daytona. I was thinking about getting a two-tone maybe because they're more, approachable, achievable, because they're not so many premiums on it, or actually selling under retail to a certain extent, an older version of it. But now I have a brand new one, steel Daytona, and I can't really fathom it Anyhow,
The thing is, you only had you only had one Rolex. Let's start with
yes,
that.
correct.
And it was a two-tone.
Yes.
And I feel that Rolex lives in the stainless steel world, right? Yes, as a second Rolex, have a two-tone. But for your primary first Rolex, I think this is a very, very good choice.
It's my only Rolex, and I'm happy. And it's a
think it's a good one to
chronograph.
have.
Can you believe it? A chronograph. I mean, when I just made
After
this
you
big
made this
speech
big
about
fuss.
chronographs are boring, I'm not into chronographs anymore. Bang, as another chronograph. So I am officially a hypocrite. So we can, we can now definitely determine
once
that.
again.
But
I tell you, I hate a watch, and then I go back and buy it again. So it's
exactly.
honestly the same
shit. It's crazy. But I had to make this big concession to my friend because of profiles and other things. Basically, he asked me, he said, okay, if I sell you this watch for that price, which is way below market price, I need you to promise me that you are not going to sell it for the next 2 years. So I said, okay, I think I can make that promise, right? So we agreed on that. So this watch will now stay with me for at least until 2026.
Oof.
Yep, has to.
Well,
has
what
to.
if something amazing comes out?
Can't. I mean, I can always talk to my friend and say, like, listen.
You want to buy it back?
I think for the right price, he might do this. If I sell it back to him under whatever the market price is, and he can just pass it on to someone else, then he would probably do that.
That's true.
But I think this is it. I think this is such a stonking watch, and I can't really believe it. I have one.
It's cool. It is.
Yep,
it is
I'm
very
really
cool, and it's you don't often see them.
Yeah, true.
You always the ceramic ones. That is, I always see the people wearing the Zeniths. I see a lot of the two tones.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, a lot of the gold ones as well. But I don't often see ceramic Daytonas. It's ridiculous.
It's true. Yeah, I know. Maybe too many people are actually just storing them or
keeping
something.
them.
I have no idea, or just keeping them for a rainy day, or waiting for them to increase in price. Who knows? Yeah, but the other thing I saw yesterday, I was in a small watch meetup with some of my German friends, and I saw something very interesting. I don't know if you saw that. I shared this in the watch group. The Rolex 6480. Okay, let me forward this message quickly to you on. Oops. Oh no, I can't do this here. Okay.
Just do it on WhatsApp. It's fine.
Oh yeah, then I'll do that here so that you can see it quickly. Martin, there you go. Check and forward. So that is a watch from the 50s, mid 50s. It's a Rolex 6480. And if you look at it, it was worn by a lovely lady. Very little text. It just says Rolex Oyster and shock resisting on the dial. It has Dauphine hands. Right? It has the 9, 3, and 6 like the Explorer. It has very interesting indices, which are also like these pointy bits. I don't know how also Dauphine style, I think. It's a very small watch. It's 34, I think, 34 millimeters. It's super light because it's a hand-wound movement, not automatic.
Yeah, so it's why it's not perpetual. It's just an oyster.
Correct, yeah. And it's actually very, very stylish. And the dial is called a chevron dial. So there were not many of these made. This watch was made with a white dial apparently a lot, but not a lot of them were made with a black dial. So it's pretty rare.
That's very cool. And the inch and turn bezel.
Yes, yes, exactly. It has this slight riffled, bezel.
Yeah.
And you
very
think,
cool.
Wow, it's rare, right? And so my other friend there was wearing his 116520 Daytona, right? So he was wearing this black dial steel Daytona, which was discontinued in 2016, I think. And then, of course, I was wearing my new Daytona, and I was like, very cool. We had 3 Rolexes and 1 Squale on the table. That was interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting meet.
And this kind of goes into the, this whole talk about Rolex and Daytonas goes into our topic very well.
Yes.
If you can only have one watch
Yes.
from a brand,
Yes.
which one do you get? So the plan is
Yeah. Is this
to
it?
go through, I don't know, 20 or so brands and discuss. You only get to buy one. It's your watch for life from that brand. What are you choosing?
Is it?
And the
Is
whole
it
point is to of course
Yeah.
summarize what that brand does well in one piece.
So that would it is a bit like, well, let's do these two things. What is the most iconic watch of
And
this
which one
brand,
would we get?
and which one would we get? Yeah, because
Okay,
that's
fine.
these two things.
It might be different. Yes.
Okay, should we start with these more super high end brands? Not esoteric, just the ones that we know.
No, we're sticking to mainstream
Yeah,
brands
yeah.
today. No
Mainstream.
more. So
But
let's start
say-
with Patek.
Okay, let's say Patek. So for me,
Okay.
obviously, the most iconic.
Nautilus.
Yep.
There's
Would
nothing
I
much
get
to it. Hell no.
What would you get from Patek?
I would probably do the Aquanaut dual time.
Because I was
That's a
thinking
good one.
Aquanaut as
That's
well.
a good one.
Yeah. But then I thought, maybe a complication, because they have lovely complications. But
They do. But I wouldn't wear it. That's the problem. For
Dress
me, I
watches,
need
yeah.
something that I'm going to wear every day. It would be the Aquanaut white gold dual time green dial.
I'm not so sure if I had to wear it the rest of my life. I only watch from Patek. I probably would go also with just a normal Aquanaut. This whatever it's called, self-winding, the
That's a good
three-hander.
one too. Yeah. The reason I chose the dual time, can you guess
No,
why I would go for a dual time instead of the regular one?
because there's more things going on.
Specifically, hold on. Is it the dual time? Hold on, let me see. I'm talking about the 5164A.
I'm so bad
I'm
at the
trying. I'm
reference
making
numbers
sure.
for Patek.
The 5164A is the steel version, I believe. Which I'm kind of okay with that one too. But the big thing here is, guys, there's no date window.
Oh yeah, that is very
You get
interesting.
a dual time with a sub dial. And the sub dial tells you the date. And for some reason, I'm okay with that, but I'm not very much okay with date windows.
There's a couple
that's what I would
of
go
these
for.
dual time watches recently that don't have a date. We have discussed this before. I find this very interesting. Why?
So
Okay.
anyway, I'm trying to find the reference number for this one because
that's
I
okay.
cannot
I think we
find it.
Yeah.
But
We
whatever the white gold green version, the khaki green of the 5164. Is it the 5164G? Let me try that. 5164G. Because I believe G means gold, but that's a blue one.
Yes, I think it does.
Didn't they make a green one of this? Do they not make a green one of this?
I think they did, but they always do this for a short period of time, and then you don't see it on the website anymore because it's then gone. But let's move on. We got what you want to do, right? We understand it's a dual time.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Dual time. Well, maybe they didn't make a green. in it.
Let's go through
Okay.
these big interesting brands. FP Journe. Would you get one? Which one is the most iconic one?
They don't have anything iconic. Everything's shit. No, I
Total
would
shit.
honestly.
Nobody
I
likes
would,
them. Rubbish.
No, I don't like them. I've tried them on so many times and I just don't like them. The one that I would probably go for, I mean, their most iconic piece is going to be the
Chronomètre bleu.
the blah. Yes, the Chronometro bleu.
Okay.
And then I would personally get the little quartz thing, whatever they call it, the
Elegante.
Elegante.
Elegante. Yeah.
That's for me.
Okay. Yeah.
Actually, the guy from Mark Cho, who runs the Drake's, and he has that other, what is it, the other clothing store. He made a collaboration with FP Journe, and that one I was very much cool with. It was a ladies size 36 and he just absolute great color combo. So that one's
Yeah,
really good
he has very small wrist himself, so he's a
Exactly.
very big person in a smaller watch range, right? I mean, he's really pushing the smaller size watches, which is great because we can all go a bit smaller if you wanted
Anyway.
to. It's all about adjusting your brain to it.
Okay, next.
Okay,
let's go AP.
MBNF.
Once again, we said we're doing big
But it's
names that are
a big
normal.
name.
This is not. No, there is no iconic MBNF, and there's no MBNF
that's a challenge.
No,
if you think about
challenges. Once again, you take our challenge and you take it to some extreme oddity, and there's no need for MBNF. We'll do MBNF, but then I'm calling the shots from here on out because you're going to end up going down the rabbit hole, and you're going to be like, "What about
Moser?"
And you'll say some. Moser we can do. We'll do Moser. But MBNF does not need to be on this list.
Okay, then forget
But we already said it, so we have to do it now.
Then we don't do MBNF. Okay, fine. No, I'm not listening. No.
Okay, Moser.
Moser then. Okay,
I would
fine.
say it's the most iconic, and this is one of the few cases the most iconic, and the one I would get is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I would go for a streamliner.
Mm-hmm.
Then for me, of course, enamel 39mm.
Yep. I totally agree with you there. I would do exactly the same thing. I wouldn't have thought that the Streamliner becomes the most iconic one, but it is. Because, when the first, the center seconds chronograph came out, I thought, okay, it's lovely, but no. But with the new versions, definitely it is the watch to get from Moser. It is, totally agree. So next.
AP.
Yeah. Next.
Yeah, exactly.
Royal Oak.
AP. No. The most iconic watch from AP has to be the 1159, and I think that's the one I would go for as well.
Yes, of course. It's the one with the most interesting case. Very elaborate.
It's a very good case you make there,
and it's a very nice dial. I actually like that watch a lot. No, one thing I have to say about AP is AP has to me was the same experience I had with Rolex. I was not interested, but the moment you put them on your wrist, you suddenly think, oh, that does actually feel very, very comfortable and very nice on your wrist.
I had it, I sold it.
Yeah, I know. And you still regret it.
And I don't like it. No, I don't regret it. No, I have zero regrets. I would never wear that watch. The only regret I had was I sold it when I did. If I would have hung on to it, I could have sold it for $200K. I sold it for $50.
Yeah. That was
right, but that's what they were going for in 2017. Nobody cared. But anyway, okay.
Yeah,
I would say honestly,
most iconic.
Jumbo for both. It's gonna be Jumbo.
Yeah.
I would get the Jumbo, and that's the most iconic.
What I like, but what I would probably get if I had to just take one is probably the Royal Oak Offshore Chronograph Safari. Just because it is the Safari. And I like to go on
like
safaris.
that one. Yeah. This is one that you have talked about before.
I do agree that if money is no object, I would probably go with the 50th anniversary Royal Oak, the standard one with the blue dial, because it is just nice. It is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but except for the freaking, they put 50 on the rotor.
Yep, exactly.
Didn't they? I'm not a fan of. Also, there was something different on the dial, no?
Oh, something tiny, I think. I don't know what it was, but it's not that they put Thierry Stern's face on it.
No. I think there was some difference. I don't, but I guess it's so insignificant. Face, yeah. I think, didn't they move the AP? They put AP at 6 o'clock, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Which is cool. Yeah. I think so. I think they did on the blue dial. If you look, they used to do this. So a regular Royal Oak just says Audemars Piguet at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, they used to have AP, so Audemars Piguet written at the top, and then at the 6 o'clock position, they would have just the letters AP written. And if I'm not mistaken, they put the AP on the blue dial, maybe even the other colors. Yeah, I think so. So you can double check my handiwork there, but I think they did.
Yes, you're right.
Which I like it, and I think it looks cool.
They had they put an AP on 6 o'clock-ish, and Audemars Piguet automatic on the top, which is also a very weird thing to write on.
I like it.
Automatic.
Anyway, all right. So moving on from AP.
Okay.
Let's talk about your favorite company, Vacheron.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I think
you can take this one.
I think as well, most iconic for us at the moment is I actually would say
I know exactly what you were going to say, and I know exactly what you're going to say now.
Yeah, I would say probably the most iconic is the American, right? So
No.
because the overseas is relatively young-ish.
No, no, no,
But
no, 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 no,
for
no.
me,
Disagree.
it's the overseas, and I already have one, so that's it. That's
So I thought you were gonna say this is my thought in your brain. You were gonna say the overseas is the most iconic. You were gonna renege and say the 222.
yeah.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
I would
So I'm surprised you didn't
I
say
would
that.
not go with a 222. I would go with one of the new rose gold green dial ones, I think, that we saw recently. Oof, they are just super nice.
Nah, for me, I think the most iconic of their watches is the 222, and I think that is the one I would go for as well.
Yeah, very good choice.
But you don't think the 222 is the most iconic? You think the
so
American?
If you go just historically and how long they were produced, I must think that probably the American has been produced longer and is a bit more. Not that.
But same thing goes for AP. The same thing goes for Patek.
True.
You go all the way back and they have everything.
Nowadays, yeah, okay. I think the overseas in general, or the 222 as a predecessor of the overseas, is probably the most iconic. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
nowadays.
That's what I'm thinking. And I would go for the new iteration of the all gold 222 as my choice. Okay. All right. What about, should we go, is there any more up on this level that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, if you
we'll go top
like
down, essentially.
Blancpain, Breguet, these kind of things, or is this not?
Those are one notch lower, I think. So we'll go from the top down. So if we're done in this tier, then we can go down one to your, my next one was going to say JLC.
But for example, Lange is not down. It was still there.
Oh, shit. I forgot. I entirely forgot about Lange. So that, yes, Lange is up there. Yes, correct. Okay, Lange. Most iconic, probably the Lange one.
Yeah, or the Zeitwerk, huh?
Or the Zeitwerk.
I don't know. It's a good question. Nowadays, the Odysseus, because now everybody wants
I don't think that
one.
had that. No, but I don't think it's had that change in the feel of the company like for the previous three that we talked about.
That's true.
Because those they turned the company on its head, and for Lange it didn't do this.
That's true. Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna say Lange one, just because the Zeitwerk is a little bit more out there. It's a little bit more obscure.
Yeah, I think the Lange one with the off center dial and all of the stuff is it's probably the one that actually is the most obvious Lange. I think, yeah, you're right.
And which one would you get?
That's a tough call. I still like a very simple Lange the most at the moment, which is my 1815 40 millimeter rose gold, which was discontinued in 2014. I know it's a bit weird, but that watch is still on top of my wish list for Lange. And it's also not, one of the entry level ones like the Saxonia Wette, so it's not too expensive. But you can only get it pre-owned nowadays, right? Because it's 10 years discontinued.
So I'm going to go with, for mine, because of my smaller hands, wrists, whatever, I'm going to go with the Saxonia, the 38mm, I think it is, with that gray dial. They do that really nice gray dial with the white gold, and I think it's very good.
Lange is special. Or the whole stories that that Lange is doing, like this that they build every watch twice. Yeah, it's just lovely. They build the watch together, see if everything works, and then they deconstruct it again, finish everything, and then put it back together.
But if I could wear it, I would go for the Zeitwerk. I think the Zeitwerk is my favorite Lange, but I cannot pull it off. There's no way.
Yeah, some of the Langes are big. Have you ever tried the Odysseus? Have you ever seen somebody?
Never seen one.
No, me neither. I think because I had this discussion with a friend of mine who said because I said no, I don't really like it. I don't think it's from the photos because I've never seen it in person. And he said if you put it on your wrist, it actually is much nicer to look at, and it's really comfortable to wear. And I can't get my head around this. I don't know why I don't really am a fan, but yeah. Anyhow, so we've done that. Okay, next.
Okay, moving on. We'll do our good friend JLC.
That is again, very simple, right? I mean, as the most iconic, it has to be the Reverso
Yeah, I think so.
because that's what
And
they
which one would you
stand
get?
for. Yeah, I mean, yesterday I think the watch I would get if I would go for a JLC. I mean, I love their geophysique. I love their new
Oh, yes,
versions.
yes.
They have a lot of really, really beautiful watches. But I think if I would go for the most iconic one, which is the Reverso, I've seen yesterday the hand wound 8 days power reserve rose gold Reverso. That was very nice. Hmm. And it's
Hmm.
currently on auction for a very good price. So, yeah. Unfortunately, no money for watches, obviously.
I
I
think
was
we're both in
actually
the
done
same.
with watches for this
We're
year,
both in the
right? I
same
already said
camp.
that. No more watches this year. And then, boom, I'm buying a Daytona.
Yep.
I still can't believe it. I still have to look at my wrist and think, oh my God, I really got one. Has to sink in. Okay. So, yeah, what's for you? What's for you, JLT?
I'm going with the same exact thing you said. I do feel the monoface is the icon because once again, that's the whole purpose of the Reverso, and that is what I have, and that is what I would go for. Once again, the medium size, which is close to the original size, and it is
Yeah, it's a
the
lovely watch.
monoface Reverso. I did do the small seconds simply because I had both the small seconds and the non-small seconds, the one with no seconds at all. And I feel the small seconds having that little bit of motion there. I don't know. It just makes it a little sportier. On the other hand, the other one was very, very dressy.
Yeah, true.
So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, but they have too many good watches, and I think that's one of the challenges in general, right? That they just have the one super iconic one, then they have the master control line, then they had the compressor line, which was quite popular, but not as much. They just have too many different, things. They have to just focus a bit. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
all right.
Next.
Fine. Blancpain.
Yeah. I still have one. I had two. Now I have only one. I think the 50 Fathoms is definitely the Blancpain to a certain extent. You could argue that the Villeret line is also very iconic for them. But
You tell me, Blanc. Once again, why did Swatch do the Blancpain? Because
it's the icon.
That is the most icon. Yeah.
And of course, the new 42 millimeter is the step in the right direction.
Yeah, instead of 45, what the hell were they
I don't
thinking?
understand
why it's ridiculous. Who's wearing that?
Yeah, it is not too bad to wear like the Panerais, but it is big. It's a chunky one. Yeah. So that's it. It's the 50 Fathoms. Which one would I get?
I prefer a 38.
Yeah,
I would go for a 38.
The Bathyscaphe is in 38, and I think they had some 40.
No. The limited edition.
Yeah, they did have, yes.
50 Fathoms have been in 38.
Yes, and 40. Houdinki, they made a 40 millimeter, I think, yeah.
I thought theirs was 38. Was it not?
38?
Who made the 38?
The NORAD? Or the water?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I don't know either.
The NORAD. No, they did NORAD. Or was it?
I think it was NORAD.
Well, no, it was water. No. Was it? Either way, there's a bunch of different variations of the NORAD being the no radiations, the water marker. No, they did water marker, 100%. The white and orange circle. So, but anyway, that's what I would go for. I love it. With no date, of course, I would hope. But the problem is Blancpain loves putting date windows on everything.
Yeah, on 430. Where it doesn't interfere with anything. Yeah, but they usually do it in dial color, so it blends in. Yeah, so
all right.
Next.
So we're staying in this category at this price point, and ergo, I'm going to say Breguet.
Yeah, we can't forego them, right?
Yeah. And I know very little about Breguet, but I'm going to say the Type 20. I
don't think that this is the most iconic from Breguet. I think what Breguet really stands for is their it's hard to say what their dress watches. Don't actually know their names, to be honest. I think they're called Classique or Tradition, right? Classique, I think that's it, or the Marine even, you could say, right? Because the Marine chronometers, they have a bit of the history there. But I think it's the Classique range which is most iconic. The hands, the guilloche dial, the Roman numerals, the straight lugs, relatively simple case, but very nicely finished. That's it. And then, as I said, Breguet hands. What else do we have? Yeah, and then complications in it. And the guilloche dial, because Breguet is the one company that has, I think, the most guilloche machines, hand-operated guilloche machines in the world, because they bought them all just to conserve them, right? Because it was a dying craftsmanship at the time. So they're doing a good thing for the world. Yeah, so that's my take. Which one would I get? Which one would I get? Good question.
The one you have.
Probably the one I have, because the Type 20 is cool and it's the sportiest. I'm actually not a fan of any of the Breguet designs that much, to a certain extent.
Then why do you have a Type 20?
That is luck. I thought I liked the watch, and I got it on an auction for a very good price. I put a price in, I won the auction, and I thought, oh, wow, now I have a Breguet. Who would have thought?
I honestly, I wouldn't have any Breguet. They're all too kind of left behind, and that's my personal preference.
But the funny thing is, they have very, very modern technology inside, right? It's like Breguet was always from a movement perspective, they're excellent. But what to do?
Yeah. All right. Next, because we got to get through these. Girard Perregaux. I put this on the list for you.
Yeah. Again, Laureato, 100%. Yep. There is not too many other watches that come to mind except the Laureato from Girard Perregaux.
Do they make anything else?
Well, they made the casquette. They have the three bridges.
Oh yeah, the casquette is fantastic.
The 3 bridges versions, right?
Didn't they make? Hold on, didn't they just make a casquette limited edition with somebody? And I was like, why would they do this?
Yes, I think they did. I don't know what was.
Aston Martin.
They did a
no,
casquette?
They did. That was a different one. No.
I think that was the green ceramic version with Aston Martin that they did. Anyhow, so they have a couple of cool ones. I mean, the Casquette 2.0. Then they have these, what is it called? The bridges version, where they have these 3 different bridges, right?
I remember seeing this casquette, and just now came out. They just now launched it, right? But I cannot remember for the life of me.
I have the website open here, so if you want, I can share my screen with you. Scroll to discover. Wait, let me share my screen. There you go. Pop, casquette. So welcome to the future. Born in 1976, reborn in 2022. A new era. You know, it has a very, very nice little thing that that you can do with it. Where's actually the collection? Come on, guys. I want to see.
I can't find it. But I do remember seeing on the back of it, it wrote specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. It's a GP Casquette X Saint Laurent.
Saint Laurent, yeah.
Yep. And I was like, why would they do this? No, it doesn't seem like they changed anything.
So yeah.
It just says Saint Laurent on the back of it now.
But you know what I like about them is that they do something very sweet, like this little. I mean, it's their own developed quartz movement, right? So that's pretty cool. And then they have this button. Basically, you have basically a date, you have time and seconds, but you only have 4 digits to show, right? So you have to cycle basically through them, and they have one thing that happens once a day. You can set it up that it happens once a day or at a specific time. And that is a secret date. That could be, for example, your wedding anniversary or something, some date you want to be reminded of. And every day at a specific time, the time display will swap, show that date for a couple of seconds, and then go back to showing the time. These are the little things that I always find charming, right? When a watch brand does these little, like an Easter egg in software
Easter
or something.
Eggs, yeah.
This is really sweet because otherwise you have no story to tell, right? It's like, it's a quartz. It does whatever it does.
All right.
Yeah.
Once again, this Saint Laurent version is $6,700 and limited to one.
So which one would you get?
You're not gonna.
Which one do you think is Laureato? Also, what you think?
I want the 38 millimeter Laureato in the copper dial.
Nice. Good choice.
I like it. I like it very much.
I like
All right,
the new...
Ulysse Nardin.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, Freak
Freak.
for me.
For me, it's the sand color one. We saw the Freak military one, whatever they called it. It was super cool.
Yeah. It's
and
true.
It was smaller.
It's true.
But I don't know anything about them besides the Freak, and I thought the Freak was cool.
I know about their marine, the Torpilleux, and all of these watches, but they always had to, for me, I think, a slight aftertaste with the very big logo printing or the name printing on it. It just looked a bit too cheap for me, even though the watchmaking was exceptionally good. But great quality. I would probably also go for the Freak. I would go for the black version with a rose gold thing in the middle and the rose gold bezel thing, where you set everything with the bezel, right? And wind it with the bezel. I don't know how you do that. I mean, but it's cool.
All right. Chopard.
Yeah. You want to start?
I think the icon that they have, quote unquote icon, the one that everyone thinks of, is probably the Mille Miglia, which I think is one of their crappiest watches. But I feel that that's what the average Joe thinks about. Or if I even mention them, that's what they would come up with.
I would argue there that the most iconic Chopard is a lady's watch. It's a Happy Sport.
Yes. Ooh, okay, fine. I agree. 100%. Yes.
Because I think...
I forgot about the ladies' watches.
Yeah, I know. That's what we always, seem to forget. But this is, I think, more iconic. Everybody will know. Even the men will know a Happy Sport, right? Actually.
Okay.
Anyhow, but which one would you get? Which one do you get? From Chopard.
Strike One. I think. Yeah.
What is Strike One?
9%. The LUC, Strike One. The one with the chime.
Okay, yeah.
The one we saw at Dubai Watch Week.
This with the sapphire gong. Oh my God, yeah.
Yes, with the sapphire gong. Or I would go for the 1860. The 1860 also is a absolute stunner.
And they have lovely variations of this watch. Yeah. Very, very nice. The LUC is, for me, I think the most men's-wise, the most iconic. Nowadays, of course, the Alpine Eagle is very popular, which I'm not so sure if I would get it because I really like it. But maybe some of the LUCs are also really cool.
Okay.
Tough
Rolex. Rolex. We've already discussed it going into this. What Rolex is the icon? I'm going to say Submariner or Datejust.
Yeah, I think Datejust. If you ask anybody to draw a Rolex, I think they will probably not draw the Submariner. They will.
Yeah, you're probably right. The Datejust.
Yeah.
And which one would you go for? Your Daytona?
If I could only have one, which I do for the next 2 years,
you do.
I would only have one.
No, you might buy another one.
Yeah, true.
You could get another one, yes.
But I don't think is the Daytona the watch I would have for the rest of my life. I think it might be because it ticks all the boxes. Sporty enough. It's busy enough to keep me occupied. I can fiddle around with it. It's
I don't trust you in this because you're still on the honeymoon.
Yes, true.
So you're saying this just because you've had it for less than 24 hours.
My heart's flying around my head. Yes, that's true. But I think probably it's the GMT Master is like the most appealing to me because it has a bit of the Submariner look, has a second time zone. So yeah, that would probably be the one at Pepsi or something.
I'm going to go with Explorer One, as I have and as I love, and I feel it fits everything. So every situation you're in, it's fine.
It is
Suit or
it's the one watch
skiing.
collection. Absolutely.
It is.
It's perfect.
Omega.
I have, most iconic, also hard because they change so many things and they have so many different lines. I think...
well, that's the icon didn't change. That's why.
Well, we could say the Speedmaster or the Constellation is the one that has the longest history.
Nah, Speedmaster. The Constellation has changed too much to retain its iconic stature. The only icon or quote unquote, the only constellation people remember is the constellation Manhattan, which only came in the 80s.
True.
Therefore,
right,
yes, it's an icon in its own right. However, I still maintain that obviously the Speedmaster, the fact that it hasn't changed since 1959 or whenever it was, 757, 59, that's going to be the icon. And that's the one I have, and that's the one I go for.
Yeah, I agree. I'm for whatever reason have never had a Speedmaster in my life, except the Moon Swatch, which is not really the same. But I always felt attracted to it, but I never pulled the trigger on it. I don't know why. Something always kept me away from it. I had a Seamaster though, which I liked, but I think the hands with the skeletonized hands were not really 100% speaking to me in the long run. But I would go now for the brand new Aquaterra. The black lacquer dial. It's stunning.
It's a very nice
if
one.
they bring this lacquer dial in blue at some stage, which I hope they will, then the overseas blue has a competitor. Because it is beautiful. It's a beautiful watch. The new one.
Speaking of blues, going into IWC.
Ooh, tough as well. Tough.
Icon, I would say Big Pilot.
Yeah.
What would I get?
Yeah. I think Flieger watches are what they stand for, even though the Portuguesa is also very...
I hate it. It's disgusting.
But it is what they,
sure.
iconic to a certain extent.
Pilot watches all day, every day.
Not Ingenieur?
I would go for either. No, that's the icon. But what I would go for would be between. I couldn't choose. I would want the Mark 20 or a Spitfire, but they have date windows, so those are gone. Same thing goes with the Ingenieur. I really like the Ingenieur, but I don't like date windows enough. So I'm going to go with the Big Pilot 43. No date.
Well, I do have the Mark 20 now, right? So that's why I actually decided not to have any more watches this year. But I did see the new Eternal calendar, right? And I put it on my wrist. And I must say, this has also no date window except the year, right? And that is chunky but super modern with the sapphire subdials and all of the stuff floating around. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, and I think it's that's a nice one to go for. But I might just go for the Ingenieur. I like the watch.
Okay.
I really like the watch. I still maintain that it's too expensive new, but now you see the price dropped to what, 33 now. It's now 10,000 below retail already. So $2,500 below retail to a certain extent.
It's not bad.
Yeah, now it's getting in the range where I think, so that this is exactly the price it should have been, where you can just buy it and enjoy it.
Panerai. That's a tough one.
Oh, yeah. There's
so many different variations of the same exact watch.
For me, it's three different lines, right? We have the submersible, we have the Radiomir, and the Luminor. So
for me, iconic wise, submersible's out. Like that's
not
an icon.
Too new, yeah.
Too new. It's gonna be the Luminor or the Radiomir, and to choose between those two, I have no idea. I can't. I'm gonna go with Luminor just because of the crown guard.
Yeah, I think the crown guard is more iconic. Which one would I go for? I had both. I had the Luminor and I had a Radiomir. I liked them both, but my Luminor was too big, 44 millimeters, and it was pretty tall, pretty chunky. I don't think I would buy that watch again. I would buy a 42 millimeter version of that. That I would like.
Which one, the Radiomir?
No, the Luminor. And they had the 44.
Do they have a 42 Luminor?
No, I don't think they have, but I would.
They have a 42 Radiomir.
I know they do have the Due and stuff like that with 42.
No, we were not talking about Dues. Dues aren't real Panerais. Those are fake. We're talking real Panerais here. Yeah. Hopefully Adrian is listening.
Fake? No,
30-meter water resistance.
With a crown guard.
Joke.
Yeah.
No, with a crown guard, naturally, for when you wash your hands.
Yeah.
But no, I have to say, last time I checked, they did not have a 42 Luminor. They did have a 42 Radiomir, and it fit good, and it was nice.
Yeah. I mean, the Radiomir is lovely. I cannot say anything bad about Panerai. They do actually fantastic watches. I love them, and they're super
All
comfortable to
right.
wear. Yeah.
So which one are you going for?
Oh yeah, which one would I go for? The one that I still have on my list is what I briefly considered if I wouldn't have bought the Daytona. If I thought if my GMT Master sale falls through, then I already sold the Blancpain, and with that money I could have bought the watch that I still want from Panerai, which is the Blue Notte. It's a submersible Blue Notte. The
Oh, yes, it's a good looking watch.
1078 or the
yeah.
2078. I think.
So in that case, I'm choosing 42mm Radiomir. Moving on.
Okay.
If they had the Luminor in a smaller size, I would go for that.
Mhm.
Grand Seiko Snowflake icon.
Yeah, that's a relatively new icon. Yeah,
But it is somehow it's their icon. I don't know.
is, yeah.
Which one would I go for if I only had one? I would go for my SBG W231, the three-hander, the 37mm small one, the one that looks like kind of the first Grand Seikos.
Yeah. Thinking back, I think I had already 4 or 5 different Grand Seikos. And I don't have any anymore, which is surprising because I actually really have a soft spot for that brand. But I do think I would go for this light blue automatic dial. I don't know what was the number or any of that thing. Was it a 9S movement? It was like the SLGA 019, but with a lighter blue dial.
Is it the what's it called?
Sort of.
Something flake, Skyflake?
No, it wasn't the Skyflake, was it? Or maybe it is just the SLGA 019.
SLGA 019.
Yeah,
Boom.
take a look. That's a SLX.
Ooh, that's a Lake Suwa.
Ah, yeah. That's a spring drive 5-day with a 5-day movement, right? It's
also the Omiwatari. No, sorry, not the Omiwatari. The Shosho.
Shosho.
Also is a light blue. And that one's stunning. Looks like the ripples in a lake. Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. So that's cool. And I mean, Grand Seiko, I fell out of love a bit with them, but
their bracelets suck.
I think frankly. The newer they have something cooking. I think we will see.
There's no taper. Give me taper, and then I'll be okay with it.
Do taper a bit, not too much though.
No, they have zero taper. It's 20 to 20 or 21, 19 to 19. They have zero. Okay, going to your backyard. Glashütte original. Original.
So yeah. Glashütte Original. Again, there I think from a perspective of what is the most iconic, tough to say.
I'm going to go with Senator. It's going to be a regular big date Senator is the most iconic.
Yeah, maybe it is, but then what would I? Okay, let's do that. Senator panoramic date, and which one would I go for? Probably not the one I have because I already have it. I would go for the CQ.
Yeah, I was thinking about CQ, the smaller CQ, 38mm, but it has a date window. I don't like it.
Now, for me,
for that reason,
I definitely would go for the bigger one because it has the 100
panoramic
100-hour movement and a display case back.
Big date.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the big date. For some reason, if it's a panoramic date, I'm okay with it. But if it's small date, I don't like it. Doesn't make sense.
You know how nice it is to see when the date changes? It's so nice in this panoramic dates.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Really I would go for the 60s. The one with I had the one that was the orange dial.
Yes, 60s.
The three-hander. Cool. Yeah. But I'm not going to go with that one because when I had it, I was just lusting after the one that was the light blue. Same dial, but it was like a light blue version of it with the stamped metal and it had those lines coming out like an eyeball, like the veins in an eyeball.
Yes, it looked like Sauron.
Super cool. But not the red
the
one
red
is the Sauron,
okay.
the orange. They had a bluish one that was the same. Same watch, same everything, but it was a different dial color, and that one I think looked even better.
Cool.
On a suede strap, like a gray suede strap, it looked fantastic. Okay, so Cartier.
Oh, for me, Santos is
Santos.
both the most iconic and the one I go for.
Done. Easiest one. Tudor.
Most iconic, I would probably say it is the that's tough. Yes.
Black Bay.
No, it's
a Black Bay.
Yeah, nowadays it's a Black Bay because it's very easy because everything is Black Bay somehow. But
yeah, exactly. If we're gonna be specific, it's gonna be the burgundy bezel Black Bay big one, the 41.
But I would go for currently. What would I go for? I think I would go for the full gold Black Bay 58.
Okay, I've made my decision. I got the 54. That's what I'm going to stick with on this.
Would I ever buy it because of the amount of money it cost? Probably not. But
No.
I think it is cool.
All right, Longines.
Oh, they have so many nice ones. Okay, most iconic. Don't know. Most iconic.
I'm gonna go with the. I don't know what it's called. That's my main issue. Longines.
Hydro.
What's the diver called?
Hydro Conquest. Yeah.
Hydro Conquest. That's the one that I think is their most iconic.
But which one I would go for is the Ultra Chron, the high beat movement. I
cool
really think that is a very good looking watch. I love that.
I'm kind of between. I really like their new divers, Legend Diver, the 39mm.
Very nice.
Small one.
I mean, Longines has
Very cool.
many cool dives. The new Magitech is super cool.
Oh, yeah. The Magitech is super cool. Also, I have a soft spot for the sector dial they did.
The sector dial.
The Heritage.
Oh, that is a beautiful watch. Beautiful
and
watch.
Also, I like the GMT, the new Spirit Zulu time.
Yes. Also, such a good sporty watch. I mean,
they're really hitting it home
absolutely.
right now. They're doing great.
In that price range, I don't think you can do much better than Longines.
Correct.
I think the design is super cool. Technology is great. I mean, Longines has always these upgraded ETA movements, right? So you get the 2892, but in an upgraded spec, right? Because nobody else get that. Only Swatch Group brands. It's really good stuff there. Yeah. Okay.
Nomos.
Most iconic is probably the Tangente.
Yes. No,
not Tangente. What is it called?
Club Campus?
No.
The club?
Is it? I mean, it's the one I would get. The Club Campus Neomatic. That's the one I would get. But I think the most iconic are they Club?
The Tangente?
Could be Club, yeah.
Yeah,
good point.
I'm okay. Tangente. I'm okay with Tangente.
It's that design, But yes, yeah, okay. But I would go for the Club Sport Neomatic because I think that's the coolest, sportiest watch they have.
And I'm gonna go with the. I don't know, what is it called? The Zurich World Timer. What is it called?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's called
the
the Zurich.
Isn't there a name for it? The Welt Time or something?
Weltzeit.
I know it's Zurich.
No.
Weltzeit. That's what it is, yes. That's the one I'm going to go for, the blue dial one.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really like it. And I have been thinking about that one for a long time.
Oh.
It lives rent-free in my head. As we say, right? Okay, moving further down market, Hamilton.
They have lovely field watches. They have lovely khakis. I still have the one that I would go for, the khaki 3 time zone one, the GMT 3 time zone watch.
Okay.
That I have with it's called, I think, Speedboat Race. This was the one with Jumeirah Beach as one of the zones that you can set.
What's your most icon? The icon is. Let's just put the icon out of the way. The iconic is going to be the Hamilton khaki field mechanical.
I agree. The field watch.
Yeah.
The Murph is also a nice watch, right, from the movie. That's also.
But it's not the icon.
No,
it's not the icon.
It's also, but a nice watch to go for.
The field is. And then what are you taking? The one you have? I'm taking the Pioneer Pilot. the 36mm tiny little one.
Okay. Interesting choice.
Okay, Tissot.
Tissot. Yeah. I mean, at the moment, I am very solidly in Team PRX as a what to go for. I think there's still more to come. I don't think they have milked the PRX line enough yet. But
yeah, I know your favorite one is the digital one, right?
No. No, that was a miss. That was a miss. The digital one. No, that was a miss. But yeah, I think the PRX is the one to go for. What is the most iconic for me growing up in the 80s, 90s is actually the T-Touch. Remember that one?
Yeah, but right, of course, yeah, I do. But now I think the PRX is the icon, and the most iconic watch they have is the PRX big one in the blue dial, automatic. That's a good one. I would go for the same thing, but in the smaller size, blue, small, 35mm automatic.
Before we have skipped over Zenith.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We'll get back to Zenith. Yeah. I will give you a chance to rebut everything to add into it. Okay. But yes, you're right. Zenith is missed. Okay. Moving further down market so that we don't bump. Unless you want to do, let's do Zenith. Go ahead. Zenith.
Yeah, Zenith. I think
and then we'll go back down.
Most iconic is their Chronomaster, the old one, right? The classic Chronomaster stuff.
No.
No? Don't you think? El Primero?
No. El Primero.
Okay, El Primero.
100%.
Which one I would go for? The latest new one, skeletonized Skyline, DeFi Skyline with the white ceramic version. That with the blue dial is cool.
I would go for the I'm trying to figure out.
But it
was a bead blasted titanium DeFi. I believe it was a DeFi El Primero, and it was called the Shadow. I believe it was. No, it wasn't. It was not a. Sorry, it was not a DeFi. Yeah, I don't know what the hell it was. It's just called the Chronomaster Revival Shadow. 37mm, no date. It's absolutely stunning. And it's a bead blasted titanium finish, which I am just absolutely in love with.
Yeah, I think also that I actually recently saw the Zenith Pilot in person. And
I'm not a huge fan.
It's actually nice in person. But I also like the new white, as I said, the white DeFi Skyline Skeleton white ceramic has the second, the 10-second subdial at 6 o'clock. They have moved it from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And I think it makes a lot of difference. It's now symmetric. It's nice. It's cool. It's still a bit too busy because it turns around every 10 seconds, which doesn't help anything. And it might just make you a bit nervous when you look at your watch, but because you think that time is fleeting too fast.
Time is fleeting. We're way over time already.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, anyhow,
as such, Casio inclusive of G-Shock. What are you going with?
F91W.
100%. That is their icon.
I never stopped making it.
I almost bought one the other day.
I have one.
And I'm like, why?
I bought it just to put it in my drawer.
It was 30 dirhams. 30 dirhams as the Amazon warehouse deal.
Yeah.
So I have to say that's their icon. Which one would I have? The one that I have already. It's the GW5000U. I think it's a fantastic watch. You're kind of the real G-Shock icon.
Yeah. For me, it's the TVA, or is it TVB, the black one? I think it's a G-Shock. The titanium G-Shock is just so cool in titanium black.
I could entertain the carbon one because the carbon one does away with those lugs that stick out. So that really is cool for me.
But I do have recently bought the Casiotron, right? The 50 anniversary of that.
You seem to be wearing a lot.
I do, actually wear it a lot. It's really cool. Yeah.
Okay. Moving further down market, Swatch.
Okay.
You have Swatch. I don't know what I'm going to say the most iconic swatches are their simple 3-hand swatches.
I have one from Scottish Watches. When you could make it yourself, you could move some images and stuff around, and then they would print the watch for you and send it to you. They have this program with a couple of things. Every month or so, or every 2 months, they change it, and you have artists that create like a big image, and then you basically cut out your watch. You can zoom in and move the image around, and then you get that kind of cutout on your watch then that you designed yourself. It's a pretty cool system, and it's being sent from Switzerland and from some other places where they actually can produce these watches. I still have that one from Scottish Watches, and I have a Moon Swatch. Every other Swatch watches are gone. Yeah, the Hodinkee special editions are all gone.
I'm gonna say the most iconic Swatch is the jellyfish. What was it called?
Yes.
That's the most iconic, and then the one that I would get would be the Moon Swatch, Mission to Moon.
I think if I look back into my watch wearing over my entire life, probably the watch I wore the longest was a Swatch Irony chronograph. I probably wore this for a very long time of my adult life. Yeah.
Okay, moving further down market to the cheapest watch brand on the list, Richard Mille.
Yeah. I think.
Do we even need to discuss it? Pass.
RM11 is probably the most iconic. Which one would I?
I don't even know what is that. I don't know any of them.
Me neither, but I just remembered the name.
RM11 and RM11, or the RM1, the RM2, the RM. They all look the same.
No, I just remember that people always talk about the RM11. Let me just have a look at the website.
Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. Skip it.
Yeah.
We're over time.
But which one would I get? I would probably. I mean, the one that I would definitely not get is the Ferrari. This formerly finished 100%. One. Now Bulgari has gotten the crown back. Right? They have just released a new one. So that is rubbish. And then they have these. Yeah. I'm not a fan of Richard Mille, but if I would get
the icons are all the same, right? The icons, they all look the same. They're all iconic.
Yeah, if I would get one, I would get probably one in the rubber strap in rose gold.
Rubber strap, some kind of white metal, maybe a titanium, carbon,
also
something
nice.
like this.
Yeah,
and just, why not? Further down market, Hublot.
Hublot.
At the very bottom.
I think Hublot, most iconic definitely is the Classic Fusion.
Yeah, sorry. Classic Fusion, not Big Bang. You're right. And that's the one I would go for, the small 37mm Classic Fusion.
I think they have one watch, I think it's also rose gold with a black lacquered dial and the black rubber strap or black leather strap, and that looks just very elegant. It's just very nice, and it wears very nice. So yeah, would go there.
Now, and then one more that we forgot about is Bulgari. We forgot entirely about them.
You forgot also one with B. With the big winged
Breitling.
Exactly.
Breitling. Okay, fine. We'll go back to those two. Bremont, I left off.
No, that's okay.
But okay, Breitling. I'm gonna say obviously it's the Navitimer. The one I would go for was the Navitimer. Was 1954 reissue.
Yep.
I think that's what it was.
I agree with you.
Fantastic watch.
Bulgari
is the Octo. It doesn't have to be the Octo Finissimo. That's the one I would go for. Is the regular titanium Octo Finissimo. But the Octo line, the Octo Roma, the Octo everything, I think that's their icon.
Yep, I would probably go for the Octo from Bulgari. I would go for the Octo. What is this? Not Finissimo. What's the chronograph name? It has the Zenith movement in it, the El Primero movement. No idea. It was very cool. I like that one.
We also forgot about what's it called? The Serpenti, right?
Yes,
I think that might be their icon. I don't know if that's the icon.
I would probably say it's more iconic than the Octo even.
Yeah, I think so.
But Breitling, I would go for what would I go for? Nowadays, I would probably go for the Chronomat. I sort of like that watch.
Yeah, why not? All right. Anything else we left out? Probably.
No, I don't.
If we left anything out, let us know.
We definitely did, but
100%. But I'm trying to stick to. I said let's go for 20 brands. We ended up going through like 50.
50.
So,
yes.
What about Apple?
Yes. Which series did you like the most? Or do you want the Ultra or the normal version?
Which one's the iconic one? Is it the 1, the 2, the 3?
I had the very first one. It was really rubbish. I like the current versions, but
Yeah, it
the
was.
first one was so rubbish.
The first one was Series 0,
Correct,
by the way,
correct.
just FYI.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
we had
was-
that. My wife had that one as well. Series 0 in the stainless steel.
When you pressed the button until something happened, the battery was empty. It was horrible.
It was.
And then
a bad
they
one.
just half a year later they just updated it, right? And then was better. Yeah.
All right, cool. I think we've gone through everything. So on that bombshell,
Yes.
let us know
Thank
what
you
we
very
missed.
much for listening. And I still can't believe that I have a Daytona. Oh yay! Daytona.
Congrats.
Now
Congrats.
I can actually go and time some things.
I think you should go into the heart of London and walk around like this, waving your arm.
Very good idea.
Yeah. I think that's what you should do.
I should do that. Maybe I should go
Yes.
to other places first. And just select.
Where can you take your Daytona?
To the Bronx? Maybe
Take it to. Oh yeah, I think it's a good place to go.
Chicago.
All right.
Chicago as well.
Yeah.
Some nice places there.
Yes, exactly. Get some deep dish pizza. All right.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Speak
Ciao.
next week.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.